Welcome to iPen Podcast, Interviews and Conversations. Here we bring entrepreneurs and their business to their audience and communities as well as ours. We welcome and connect with them to share who they are and what they do. Authors, entrepreneurs, we extend the invitation to promote your business here on our podcast and in iPen Magazine. Your article, your story, your promotions, how you can connect with others, a new audience, a quarterly magazine presented online for all to view and subscribe to. For articles, ads, and subscriptions, please contact ipendesigns@gmail.com. For your viewing, you can see past articles, past interviews on www.nanettembuchanan.com. Welcome to the show. Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Nanette Buchanan, and this is iPen Vision's podcast, Interviews and Conversations. We're coming upon the end of the year, people, but that does not mean we're not bringing you some of the best in their field, in what they do, in what they can share, their whys, their purpose, and we're going to get all of them to tell us how. That's all we want to know is how. How do you hang on? How do you make it work? How do you when you don't want to? Those are the questions that we ask. And the reason for that is because we want dreams and creativity to meet. That's our tagline. We want that to be something that we show you through our guests and that we elevate for you. So just like the commercial ahead of all of our guests states, we want you to be a part of this. So make sure you contact us and, follow through and come on and jump on board because we have fantastic guests. And tonight is no different. But before we bring this fantastic guest to you, I have to bring a fantastic partner. And I know most people look at it and say, well, you get married. No. Not talking about him. Not talking about your significant other. I'm talking about, have you ever worked with someone who just fits? You don't even have to adjust anything with it. She just fits. And when you fall apart, she puts you back together. She comes with a glue stick or a staple or a comment or a pat on the back. Or sometimes she just says, I was thinking about you. And this is who she has become to me. And, I just want you guys to know that she's the staple in my package. I have to have at least one staple. So whenever he decides that I don't know what your package is, I call Felice. And she can tell me, yeah, that's a good package. Or no, throw that away. I don't know what you're doing with it, but put it away until you figure it out because it's not one we need to do right now. So I want to thank her for being a part of this. We're going into the end of the year. The beginning of the year, I usually piece her up really good. But right now, I just felt like saying thank you, thank you, thank you. So, hey, Felice, how are you, sweetie?
Oh, my goodness. Thank you.
How you doing?
Woo! Today is good. Well, you don't know because I didn't text you this morning, although I should have. But my son had surgery this morning. And
with his ankle. Yeah. How did he make out?
The surgery went well. God, it's so good.
Good.
Because, leaving my child to be an overachiever, to break your ankle in the worst possible way that you can break it, and that is from the doctor's mouth.
Yeah. So good. So,
today's been that roller coaster day. But
a roller coaster day, the up and down and the ins and outs. Well, I am so glad that he's doing well. Send him my well wishes and prayers for the nights when he thinks his ankle is all right and he wants to put his foot down, and that's going to be a problem. But tell him that we're sending our love to him.
Thank you. And I'm just happy to be here, grateful, honored, blessed to be your stapler.
Yeah, be my stapler. I got plenty of staples. It's just I need somebody to push that thing together.
Because I'm fresh out of staples as of today. I need a refresh, but I'm ready for this conversation tonight.
Yes,
Jesus.
we got a fantastic. You know what I think? I think what caught my eye, number one, was it's very seldom that someone contacts you and you don't have to tell them what you do. They can tell you that what you do is what they want to get into.
Oh, nice.
Very few people do that because they oh well, what is it about? Well, I'm just asking, and it's not a slap against what they say. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that I've never stepped into something that I don't kind of know what it's about.
Mm. Well,
You know,
you
I
are in the top 1% of that. Right.
yeah, I'm not that nosy that I'm going to try to step into something that I don't kind of already know.
Mm-hmm.
So when she got in touch with me and said, "Hey, I'd like to know more,"
Uh,
keyword,
uh,
about what you guys do, that's
uh-huh.
already saying that she already had checked out. If I didn't have to say to her, well, you can check out this or you could check it. She had already done that. Then the second
Right.
thing was her co-title that we're going to get into
Mm-hmm.
was the book queen.
I
I said,
love that. Yes.
I want to be in the queen's court. I
Yeah,
just
that's
want to be in
right.
the
That's
queen's
right.
court. I want to be there.
That's
Who
right.
doesn't want to be in a queen's court?
That's
Even if
right.
you do the
I
rule.
know. I know.
Yeah. You
And,
want to
and,
be where
and we have to promise her that we're not peasants. We
no, we're not. We're not.
we're not
We're not.
peasants.
But I just thought that her
Mhm,
personality,
mhm,
before I even answered the email, before I
mhm.
even, dug deep into, well, what does she do or how does she do? Before I got into that, I was like, she on point. I
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
like her.
Well,
You
then
know.
I'm already clapping, and I knew I
You
was
you
excited about
clapping, you clapping. Well, clap it up because we're gonna bring to the forum.
it.
Tonight's guest is Miss Candi Usher. And we want to ask her
Yay!
to join us. Hey there, girl.
Hi, everybody. Look, you got me over here cheesing hard and everything. I am
Yeah.
always ready to add ladies and gentlemen to my court.
There you
Always.
go.
The court
Yes,
is never
yes.
closed.
And I am
Ever.
I am graciously accepting the invitation. I'm so proud to
Yeah.
be in your court
Mhm.
with my court.
Well, you are welcome, my lady.
Awesome.
Well, one of the things that we do immediately when we get um a guest on, one of the things that we do is we make sure not only are they welcome, but also that they introduce themselves. Because who could say who you are better than you?
Yeah.
My
So with
sisters, probably, and my kids.
that,
My dad.
so with that being said, who is Candi Usher? That's what we want to know. Who is Candi Usher? Not so much the Majesty, but who is Candi Usher?
I'm Candi Usher. I am 41. I am you probably can't see my shirt, proud veteran homeowner. I'm a Navy veteran, served 8 years. Um, I'm a mother of four sons, one who's in heaven. So I relate to the boy mom thing. Like they can do the strangest things at the strangest times, and you still haven't figured out how
Yeah.
they
Mm-hmm.
honestly managed to do it. It's just they did it. It was a miracle
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in a bad way.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
um, I am a sister. I am a friend. I am someone who has loved reading since they were 4 or 5 years old.
Mhm.
Um, I'm currently in school right now, getting my PhD in psychology, in clinical psychology.
Oh.
I've decided to make my focus on children and adolescents because that's their most malleable time. That's the time that they need the most encouragement, but at the time that they can be the most pliable. Their
Mhm.
minds are still developing, they're still learning different things, and they need different outlets for anger, for frustration, for happiness, for
Mhm.
sometimes when they can't connect with their parents at the
Mhm.
right time and they don't feel like they
Mm-hmm.
have a safe adult who they can talk to, who can be that sometimes that go between, that mediator for
Mhm.
them. Sometimes there are things they don't feel safe telling their parents, that
Yeah.
they need an adult who will be there and say, here, let's solve it like this. And then maybe in a day or two come back and talk to your parents about it,
Mm-hmm.
but in a Christian manner.
Right.
World,
Right.
like I'm learning the world side of it so I understand people better. But it's also Holy Spirit led too, because I know each situation is different. And
Exactly.
the Holy Spirit speaks and says, hey, this is a situation. Sometimes I see the situation before they get there, but I'll be quiet because I want them to tell me.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there
Exactly.
might be something that they might leave out, or there might be something in their body language or in their eyes that other people don't see, but I want them to know they're seen.
And you say that so eloquently, but I do believe that a part of being an instructor, a teacher, a coach, anything where you're developing a child, and I'm only speaking in the terms of the children, because it's kind of different when you're dealing with an adult that you're trying to teach and an adult you're trying to coach. But when you're dealing with someone who is in those formable years, I do believe that this is a part that is missing, that people don't understand them. We want to do that group thing because we want to make sure that we can get it all done. But they're each, if you got 20 kids in the class, you got 20 individuals.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got 20 different lines of thinking, 20 different ways, 20 different attitudes, 20 different environments, 20 different, and I think I know when I was growing up, it was more like that the teacher would spend time
With
with
each one
you,
individually.
a little more individually. And now, because of the classroom sizes, because of the direction education has gone into, that has been depleted. And because of it, we find that we need more, psychology and more intimate settings. And the problem is we need the intimate settings with the people that are not in the household because they don't even understand it,
Yeah.
So
My dad is a former teacher. And
Oh.
so knowing I have gone home so many times and have talked to people who have been influenced by him.
Yeah.
Your dad has been a dad to me. Your
Yeah.
dad is why I'm still here. Your dad is why I didn't go to jail or go to prison.
Mm-hmm.
My sister Precious, who was up here first, she knows my father. Like, my dad treats her as a daughter. Like,
Yeah.
that's the relationship that it should be, where
Right.
the adults in your village are not just the adults in the village, but they're like other parents.
Yeah.
For my sons, again, I have three.
Mm-hmm.
My sisters helped, even though I was married, my sisters still helped raise my sons. And
Yeah.
I was a
Right.
single mom in California for 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Emerald, Vet, Alicia, Shatar, I can name them because they were my sisters. When I had duty, they would take him.
Yeah.
When I wanted to hang out, hey, you go out, have some time for yourself. We'll babysit. The rest of us will go with you, and I volunteer to babysit.
Yeah.
And another friend had her baby. We did the same for her. And then another had, we did the same for her. It's a community where it's not just the parents and the church, because we seem to step outside of that too. We want to
Yeah.
limit
Right.
it to just the
Right.
parents and the church. No, your village
Right.
has to be bigger. But we have to, as parents, stop being scared
Yeah.
of who's in the village.
And
Yeah.
not
We're
only
so
that,
worried
you
about
say that so
predators, things like that.
right, and you say that so
We have to be
eloquently.
willing
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
allow, especially single mothers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna speak to you. As one, I'm gonna speak to you all.
Yeah.
But
Stop being so
now
fearful. Okay.
here's the understanding of it. Here's the understanding of it. You said that so perfectly. So perfectly. I just informed someone the other day. The comment was the kids are different. And I said, no, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's
The
how
ways
we're
they're being raised is different.
exactly.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
how they're being
Yeah.
handled. It's
Right.
what's being allowed at home. It's what's being allowed in the community. It's what's being open to them that they're not ready for. It's
Yeah.
all of those things that now have changed them to be ready for stuff that they don't understand,
Yeah.
to speak languages that they don't know what the meaning
What
is,
it is.
to
They're listening to music that's had I think about the music that I grew up with because I'm an 80s baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up on 80s music, 90s music, early 2000s. After early 2000s, I was like, I'm over said and done because they went too far.
Yeah.
They just went way too far. I'm also an oldies but goodies girl. I like 50s, 60s, 70s. So anything to the early 2000s, you have. Actually, the 20s even. Because some of that music, if you really listen, it had meaning. But then it got to a certain point where it catered more towards certain aspects in life that children should never have been exposed to. Where they went from, oh, we only show these videos from 12 o'clock at night till 2 o'clock in the morning. So you in the bed, you can't watch it. So now we'll show it to you all day long. So even if you homesick from school, because grandma don't watch stories no more, which those were bad enough by themselves. Let's be real. We saw so much cheating, it became no. That's another conversation.
Yes.
Well, you know,
at 6, 7 years old, I recognized Victor was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be real. He was up. Like y'all, Victor looks so no, Victor don't. I don't even know why y'all mess with Victor. You knew Victor was married 2-3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Victor slapped you and everything. And you still messing, girl. Leave Victor alone. Victor ain't Victor is making you a victim.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and that's so true because you know, growing up, those were the things that were portrayed on TV in soap operas, right? But now with social media, everybody gets to have their own soap opera if they choose to, and even sometimes when they don't choose to, it they get to. But one thing I read today that was really interesting is that Australia is banning social media for anyone under 16.
As it should be.
Mine
don't even have it. My 13 and 15-year-old don't. Only one does is my 22. That's it. The other two, and from what they've seen on social media, from things I've shown them on, they don't even want it.
Right.
They want no access. They want no parts.
Right. Well, you know what though? Just like you said though, Felice, some youth. I can remember my grandson being in I think it was fourth grade, fourth or fifth, getting ready to go into. No, as a matter of fact, it was sixth grade. It happened to him and it happened to my nephew. It was more traumatic for my nephew because he had been molested. So what they were presenting in school totally wiped him out. Because he was not ready to be in that atmosphere in that grade. But they said that's middle school or they're getting ready to do this. But my daughter called me up and she said, hey, and she was in North Carolina at the time. I was in New Jersey at the time. So, you know, the school system's a little different, you know. And of course, the East Coast, you know, supposedly we more dramatic than anywhere else. But down here in North Carolina, they were actually showing.
I lived in Cali, so I can speak differently. Having lived on both coasts.
Yeah, they were saying that they were showing them in supposedly health class. This was health class, but it wasn't separated. It was boys and girls in the same health class.
Yeah,
and they were showing them about sexual deviation of all sorts. And the use of condoms. Well, my grandson, number one, was like, what in the world? Because he had no clue what was going on. He knew about the process, but not up close and personal. You know, he's 10, 11. What, you know, what? The nephew on the other side, because of the molestation, knew what was going on. And he freaked. But when we went to the school,
my question, real quick.
But when we went to the school to ask, where's the permission slips for the adults?
Because that was where my question was coming in. Did they even ask if it was okay to show that?
Where's the logic in doing it in a parallel setting where girls and boys are together?
Yeah,
because at that point, some of them are still scared to even wink at each other. You know, you're pushing them. And why are you pushing them? And of course, they wanted to give my nephew bad grades because he refused to go to the class.
Mm.
We didn't even know what was going on with him until he was refusing to go to the class. And of course, he's not telling them why. He's not
Sure.
telling them what's going on.
Yeah.
But
He's
this,
not going. He didn't feel safe enough.
to me, the thing about it is we need to understand, like you said, that psychology. That psychology. And he was an A student. So their thing was it's no worries. No, there are worries.
Mm-hmm.
There's still
When
things that are
children
going on.
do extra in that manner, especially most times if they're overachieving, if they're overly pushing themselves,
And then
look
my
at the
question,
underlying cause. Look at
as
why.
an adult instructor was simply, wait a minute, who's the teacher that's teaching this?
Mm-hmm.
You can teach math and English and all of that other stuff, but who told you that
This
you
was
could
okay.
teach?
Well, well, most of the time it's not the individual teacher's brilliant idea to, oh, hey, I'm
Exactly.
Yeah.
It definitely has to be part of the push curriculum or the guidelines for curriculum for that school district. So, yes, but,
And they had to find the right teacher to do it too, because not
Right,
every
Yes.
teacher was
That's
going
right.
to teach
That's
that
right.
part of
That
the
is
class.
true. That's true.
And
And
I
if
was
the
like,
teacher is trying to go rogue, they're only trying to go rogue with certain students, not the class as a whole, right?
exactly.
So
And that was, and of course, they wanted to pick on him because he didn't want to show up.
Yeah.
And with my grandson, all they kept saying to him is, we know you know already. Because anytime they would present something to him, he'd be like the forefront, like, okay, I can get this done. I can
Sure.
get. They said, oh well, we know you know this already, and he was like,
Mhm.
what is that? What are you doing? And
Yeah.
who's
And that's
and
the
I took
parental thing too. And again, where children should feel safe enough to come to as a child who dealt with certain things and did not necessarily not feel safe enough, because with my dad I did, but out of fear of harming our relationship,
right.
I
You don't
chose
want to
not
talk to him about it.
speak.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be where that my kids feel comfortable enough, because we have an
Exactly.
open door policy. You can talk to me about anything. When you walk past that door and you say, Mom, I need to talk to you, we close the door. Nothing leaves the room unless you wanted to leave the room. I am not your mother right now.
Right.
And the thing about it is we can't leave it in the hands, just like you can't leave, and I say this all the time, this modern day math. You can't leave me to teach your kid modern day math. Now I'm going to teach him how to get the answer, but I'm not going through all of those steps. I'm not doing
I do it the easiest way possible. Teachers used to get mad at me for that because of the way I taught my son's math, which is why I homeschool the middle and the youngest. The oldest went through school, went through all of that. I was like, I'm not, in Jesus' name, I'm not doing that again. I said, Father, if you want me to homeschool my children, make a way. The pandemic came. I said, Amen. Thank you. In Jesus' name, I'll follow the instructions. And I've been doing it since. Because what we're not going to do is go through 50 million steps to get to this one answer when I know it only takes 30.
It doesn't make sense.
But
so
my relationship is supposed to take 3 steps instead of 50. Make it make sense. The math ain't
but by
math,
the same token, we have to understand at some point the importance in books, the importance in writing, the importance in community, and the importance on top of all of that, we always learn family extends beyond. And because of certain fears and certain things that have gone on, we're trying to tell everybody to stay within.
Yeah.
But sometimes the fear is within.
Oh, sure. Oh,
yeah. And allowed to not be faced, and I'm going to say it out loud, especially in our community, more than in
exactly.
The Black community, it's pushed more to keep this to yourself if it happens.
That's right.
Don't say if Uncle so-and-so did this. Don't say if Auntie so-and-so did this. Don't talk about your cousin, because that's still your family.
Yeah.
Family or not, I will tell people in a heartbeat, I will walk away from water and stick to blood.
Yeah, that's right.
Those are water people. If you're related to me by birth, you're a water person.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you. I
The blood
hear
of
you.
Jesus, those are my blood people.
That's
My
right.
sister, that's my blood people. Those are the people
And you
who
got to
been
be
there. You
attached.
gotta know the difference. They
Exactly.
say blood is thicker than water. Yeah, that amniotic fluid is water.
Yeah.
It is.
Exactly.
That's the water people. You don't
So
have
now,
to give them a certain part of you just because they're related to you in that way. They should not be allowed to have a certain excuse just because they're
just
related
because
to
they're
you
related,
in
right?
that
Just
way.
because.
You can
Yeah.
forgive them,
Right.
but I
That's
don't
right.
trust you.
That's right.
I'm not going to
Right.
deal with you. We don't get to walk past this boundary, and if you can't respect this boundary,
That's it.
you're
That's it. That's
You're
it.
so busy pushing away the right people along with the wrong people because they pushed God so much out by trying to discredit him that they have no spirit of discernment anymore.
No, they don't. They don't.
They don't have discernment anymore. They can't see this person is good for you, this person is not. God sent this person to help you. No, everybody's bad. All men are not bad.
No.
Women are not bad. Stop
No.
clustering. Even in psychology, we don't cluster. You're not allowed to write in that form. You can't write a dissertation in that form. It's would have, could have, the sum of, this could be, this might be. It is never 100%.
Never 100%. You're right.
It's always 100%.
That's right. So speaking of dissertations and being 100%, in your bio, you said that, and I need you to explain this to me. I am an omnivert.
I am an omnivert. An omnivert is an introvert and extrovert at the same time. Growing up, I used to be extremely extroverted. No, omnivert. Because I've gone through 2 marriages. I've been through domestic violence. I've been through narcissistic abuse. I dealt with 2 men who were very adamant about, oh no, you need to stay in the house. Well, I go do what I'm gonna do. But you stay home.
Right.
I don't like you being around these people. Nothing wrong with the people I was around. It was the whole fact of control.
Yeah.
I became more to the point of where my extrovert has to recharge. So I become an omnivore at that point. I don't what I call people very much. I'll talk to my my friends, my sisters online, but I have to have that energy put together to even I have an event getting ready to come up the end of this month. Where I'll be releasing a new book. I'm taking these these next couple of weeks and I'm getting all of Candi together because from the 18th through about the 26th, I will see nothing but people.
Right.
I put myself out there, and I have to have the energy to do that.
That's right. That's right.
People who do read your body, and my sisters will tell on me in a heartbeat. Go sit down somewhere. Bye. Go.
So let's get into Miss Candi Girl LLC. That I assume that comes from not only your books, but your speaking, your community networking, your outreach. So one of the things that we understood right off the bat, and we're going to get into that, your books and all of that other stuff. But one thing that I know, being purposeful as a writer, and it's something we evolve into. I said this to a lady the other day, and she said, "Huh?" And I was like, "She's not an author." Okay.
They're not gonna get it.
Because the thing about it is, I don't know what it is, but the attachment with all authors is you evolve as you write. It's almost like the growth of a tree. Branch out this way, you branch out that way, you branch this, because your writing can go into all different areas and all different things. Even though you may like one thing or another, you still have those branches and those leaves and everything. And as a leaf falls off, you don't worry about it because you got a branch over here with 4 or 5 other leaves. So when you say Miss Candi Girl LLC, what are the branches and the leaves that have been created from that?
So Miss Candy Girl was kind of birthed as sort of part of my nickname from my dad when I was growing up. I was always, because I was the only daughter and I'm the oldest. And so I've always been baby girl. Well, then as I grew, people would call me Candy Girl. And I had to hear the song by New Edition and Cameo and all those others because that is my name. You never live it down, ever. I had somebody who used to call me Peppermint Patty on purpose. But as I grew up with that name and as that name stuck, I wanted to name it something that signified who I am as a person, and how I identify myself as somebody who grew up and never matured. That's the way I describe it. If you ask anybody who knows me, I grew up. I'm weird. I'm different. I'm eccentric sometimes. I will randomly say things. You will say a sentence, and a sister will go into singing for no good reason. Ask my children. They don't like to take me in public. Yeah, not me take them in public. They don't like to take me in public sometimes. Because they know what they're about to get. Forgetting that's where they got it from.
Yeah, that works. That works. Yeah. I gotta remind my son of that because he always said that. Ma, well, now you got to end that sentence. You don't have to take me anywhere.
You don't have to take me here. I'll take you.
So why the name in all that you do, in all that you reach out to do? Why Book Queen?
I'm multi-genre. I don't write in just one specific field or one specific genre. It's a mixture. I write in fantasy, Christian fiction, Christian romance, romantic, science fiction, paranormal, romantic paranormal, fantasy paranormal, my biographies. And I'm branching out into even more because I had a friend that just hit me up the other day and she was like, how about we write a children's book? So I might be about to do that now, that she illustrates and that I would write. So it's one of those things where I don't confine myself into one box.
Into one genre. Yeah. I think a lot of people find a fear, and that was my next question, which genre would you say calls you to write? But you just said, you're multi-genre. But I think some people that are authors have a fear of changing because they're chasing the popularity of it, or they're chasing the dollars of it, or they're chasing the fact that they're stuck in, this is what I do best. I don't want to challenge myself in something else. So what would you say to about your writing? You say that you get called in all the different genres to write. Is this something that you always did, or did you branch off for different reasons?
I grew up reading different books. I was never a one genre type person. So I loved some of everything. So instead of trying to give myself a migraine, putting it all in, why not write as God leads?
Exactly.
Where does he point me? I have a mystery thriller suspense series. There's nothing bad in it. There's no gore. There's no sex. There's no anything like that. But it's still like a psychological thriller. It includes brain. I include science in it. I include mischief in it. There's no murder in it. But
and I find it funny
about Christian people not having enough to read because what these other books have in them.
But here's where I find it funny, and I do it all the time. Number one, I've had more Christian readers or people that are Bible carriers. I call them Bible toters. That tell me that they don't read. And I have to constantly say to them, looking at what they're carrying or looking at where they're going or you read your Bible. You do read. You read. Okay. That's number one. That's number one. And I say it all the time. That's why Felice is laughing like that. Because I say it all the time.
Sometimes a lot of them carry the Bible and
ain't reading it. And ain't
reading it at all. No second.
But here's the other thing. Here's the other thing too. In reading the Bible, and it's the Quran, any religious artifact or the Torah, any of them, the stories that are there are about people. So you had You had the woman who had 7 husbands.
Yeah.
You had, you had these things going on,
Go
even though
read the book of Judges. I studied Judges on purpose. When
Yeah.
I tell you, I was
Yeah.
like, Father, in Jesus' name,
Yeah.
studying the book of Judges.
the
The
stuff
man,
that
the
goes
man said the
on.
first thing that comes out to him, he'll sacrifice. It was your own daughter, stupid.
Yes.
Your
Yes.
own
Yes.
daughter. Or
Yes.
the king who killed all of his brothers,
Yes.
99. First off, daddy needed to slow down.
Yeah.
Because 99, 99,
Yeah. Right. That part.
99. That's what the Bible said.
Right.
99
Right.
brothers. You kill all of them to
Mhm.
get killed by a woman, and because you don't want nobody to know, you ask your armor bearer to kill you himself, and then turn around and guess what? It's written in the Bible. So
Right. Right.
got killed by a woman.
So
Who
the
picked
thing
up a
about it
millet
is,
stone, not
I'm
any
not.
stone, a millet stone that ground grain into flour. She, as a woman, picked that up like she was Samson and dumped it
Mhm.
on you, bruh. So you got it
Yeah.
twice. A woman
Yeah.
and a stone.
Mhm.
Read
Uh-huh.
Judges.
But the thing about it is that like I said, I always assume that when you're reading, you're taking it into your realm, into what you have or whatever. So how are you so judgmental about something that has already happened in another, in another time, in another whatever? They are the most, and I'm just saying this, for people that we're all adults. They are the most horniest people back in them Roman days. They was terrible, running around just jumping on anybody. I'm like, wait a minute, you don't even know her name yet, and you already trying to get her in your harem. So these are the things that I don't understand, because I don't do exotica, and I don't do exotica simply because I don't want to repeat the same stuff over and over and over again. I'm trying to make it where make it more fluent, or
But
make it
I
more
want
whatever.
to
So
I
I'm not
want
doing
to
all that.
posit this to people. As far as someone who used to read some of everything, I've learned that when you do, there's also a spirit that's attached to that.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
And it
Yep.
will cause
Exactly.
you to act a certain way
Yeah.
if you're
Right.
careful. So
Especially
why expose yourself
to
if you're
what you don't
biblical
want to
to
be
what
exposed
you
to.
know? You're not
Yeah.
supposed to. This is why I write the genres that I do,
And
because I
and
know
not
that
only
that
that,
exposure is there, and people need something that does not give them that exposure, but still gives
mhm.
them the enjoyment of reading. I've had people say what they wanted to say about my books. It is what it is. If you don't like it, then I mean it either convicted you or it just wasn't for you, which most of the time it's a conviction because I see the
Yeah.
way they pick it apart.
Well, right, not only that, and then you pick apart the dumb stuff. You're not even picking apart the story. You're picking apart,
Mm-hmm.
well, how come his last name wasn't the same last name as his daddy's last name? Well, you didn't figure that out. You didn't figure that. So you have to, like you said, it is what you carry, it is what you do. I write through the spirit. If the spirit says write this, I write it. If the spirit says don't write that, I don't.
I
If the
don't write
spirit
it.
says stop it, you're at chapter 35. Stop right now and then go write something else and then come back. I do whatever the spirit leads me to do. But if
That's
the
the Holy
spirit
Spirit and my
tells,
ADHD.
yeah, I have to go
They
where,
sometimes are against each other.
yeah, I gotta go where I'm led. I gotta
I'll
go
be in
where
the
I'm led.
middle of doing schoolwork and it'll be like, oh, you need to go to
Hmm.
this. Wait, I gotta finish the school. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
the
be
thing
done.
is, you got to go where you're led, and not only that, the thing is knowing your audience. There's a keynote in knowing what audience are you trying to address. Are
Mm-hmm.
they picking you or are you picking them? And a lot of times I find, especially with me, after they find out I'm writing realities, then they're looking at it going, oh, well, wait a minute, I heard that story before. That's because it was a reality book. It's not, that's why
Not
that
anything
story
new.
repeats itself over and over again. That's why
It's
you
funny
know
to me. People like that new movie with Ruth and Boaz. And I'm
Uh-huh.
hmm
like, well, if you go to the Bible, it's even better.
Yeah.
hmm
Read the Bible version.
Yeah.
It's even
yeah, but
better.
they don't want to sit down and read between the lines. They
Yeah.
want you to
Now
give
watch the
them
Passion of the Christ, but if you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John,
you.
and
That's
notice
what
how
it
they
is.
in tandem and how they connect to the further into the Old Testament, because technically Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are part of the Old Testament. If you go back to what David said, to what Isaiah said, to what you will see that it was a prophecy fulfilled, and that everything that Jesus just did in the Passion of the Christ is everything he just did before that. Like,
and not only that, you will notice he was already prepared for it. He was prepared before you were. He was already there before it. But there are some people, because we have 10 to 11 different ways to learn. The problem is, again, going back to the school thing that we said, unless you tap into as many learning components as you can, you don't get them. So in a lot of ways, we as writers don't always get that one reader that walks up and wants to buy your book, or that one reader that wants to, sometimes I have to have a conversation with them to even see where their thought process is before they say, well, what book is your best book? Yeah, but baby, my best book is going to be well over your head, because you just told me you don't read and you're carrying a Bible, So yes, you do read. So I need to start you off on a slow level. You don't need to read my deep stuff yet, because you ain't gonna get
my best book right now was my newest book, Unfaded Ties. People say it because it has werewolves and fae. But I have a whole, again, mystery thriller suspense series that has about 5 different sets of identical twins, switched personalities, switched places, undercover, whole non system. I don't know. There's no romance got to be written into it for it to even come out.
For it to be that way, yeah.
You just don't like the way the romance is written. Right. Oh, these are I don't know about that. Oh, so you don't know. You want to see real life when you're watching these TV shows like Jennifer Hudson. But if somebody really, or you want to read you want to read the famous people one, like Viola Davis. I read her.
Yeah, you got to have the famous people.
I did it by school when I was doing my bachelor's. I used her book as part of my one of my papers, or Michelle Obama. Yeah. But when other people come with the real life, who not only are real life, but tell how Christ changed their life, now you got an issue with that, unless it's somebody like Joel Osteen. Or so because they're famous and well known and they're chasing money, and it makes you feel, no, baby, I'm not gonna make you feel good in my books. I don't plan to. That's not the point of it. Yeah. I want you to question yourself. I want you to think. I want you to have a level. You don't have a level of reading comprehension. You don't know what that is, do you? Yeah. See, I've to the point of where I've started saying this "No Child Left Behind" thing should have left children behind.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And not only that, not only should it have left some children behind, it should have left the parents behind with them, so they all could have class together.
Right.
Because that's a whole other one right there.
The thing about it is, what I don't understand is, first off, I had a book club, and it was so funny. I did this story based on a mall. Well, part of the story, the gentleman met the female at a mall. So I put the mall on 95. That runs up the East Coast,
Been down to 95, yeah.
95, the Baltimore, Virginia area, and fine. I get this book club from Florida. Read the book. Now they having a book club thing. They invite me to it. And we enjoyed the story. We enjoyed this. We enjoyed that.
Let me guess, they hit a butt.
It did.
Which erased everything they just said before it.
There's no mall on 95 between Baltimore and Virginia. I said, are you for real?
Or they looked it up?
Number one, I had to literally look up the group again to figure out, well, where are they from? Florida. You're from Florida. What would you know about whether or not a mall is on 95? And why is that?
The 95 don't even run but so far into Florida before. And this is from somebody who's from Georgia, so I would know. Most of my birthday side of the family is in Florida, in Jacksonville. So I know that it only goes so far down.
But who's on 95 is the highway. Did you go into the town that's off? But it doesn't matter. This is a book of fiction. It's fiction. So where are you going with this? You're telling me you like the story. You're telling me you like this. So as writers, we sometimes have to be careful of how we put it out there, because we don't always get the reader they're there to critique. And for some reason, at that time, Amazon reviews was the thing, and
Oh, it
people
still
always
is.
wanted
It still is. It
what
still is
well
now.
no, they wanted you to have 5-star reviews, and you had to have this and you had to have that. So if a book club could come in and knock down your review based on the fact of a mall on 95, ooh wee. I was like, did you like the story? Oh yes, we're waiting for part 2. Well, they're still going to be at the mall on 95.
Well, maybe you could switch it in your next book to correct that and put a little disclaimer there.
Switch it out. Leave it exactly how it is.
That's right.
What store would you like them to be at?
Okay, so Candi, I have some more questions for you.
Mystery thriller suspense. They gave book 4 a 3.
Yeah.
3 stars. Here's my question. You gave it 3 stars, but you didn't read books 1, 2, and 3. So how is book 4 going to make any kind of sense to you?
Right. Well,
you didn't read anything before that. Nothing.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things.
Help me.
these are some of the things that we would be telling new authors what they have to not only look forward to, but be prepared when they get tore down. Like you said, if I'm getting 4 stars, 5 stars, and then all of a sudden I get this 2-star or this 3-star, how deep as a new author, my confidence is still not on the peak of, being a book queen. My confidence is not on the level of being, somebody that has written a whole gambit of books. But now I've been in my own world. I had a great opening. I had a great book signing. I had a great this. And now I got a 2-star.
One thing I've learned that's not just based on being a new author, but being a person myself. You're not for everybody.
That's right. Yes, say it again for the people in the back. Say it one more time.
You're not for everybody. You're not for every reader. You're not for every room you walk into. I have been to events where they went good, but I had no books go. People just came and talked and got my card. I had an event where it was the most books I ever had sold, and it went really great. And then I didn't hear anything else, because I always tell people, whenever you get my books, leave me a review, please. Yeah. Whether you liked it or you didn't like it, please leave me a review. I just did Bray. Bray was my biggest event I've ever had, and I've been writing for 8 years. My website had 1,500 orders.
Wow.
My KDP had 300 almost. Almost a total of 800, but almost a total of 900 by the end of the weekend.
Wow.
So to know that you have that, and to say in 8 years I've got that, but understanding you're still not, and I don't say tea, I say everybody's cup of coffee. Because to some people, you're absolutely bitter. They don't like what you write. They will never like what you write. You also have to understand your readers come from different cultures. They come from different backgrounds. Yeah. They are either a man or a woman. They are different in every single way. So there are some people who, no matter what, and we learn this in psychology, and that's helped me better understand my readers or readers that I get. Almost everybody has a personal bias of some sort. They have an internal bias. If there's a bias that's there, even as a new author, you can do nothing about their bias at all. I have watched women who have been writing, like for myself, paranormal books. We've been told that our paranormal characters don't look right because they're supposed to be white. Their names are not right because they're not the right. And the point is, this is about us. My new fantasy paranormal, it's about us. It's got African names in it, Swahili, Yoruba, and Haitian Creole, which took a while because I had to translate everything at the beginning of the book. But that's their names, that's the culture. I included the food. Now, who's going to find it? People who are interested in it. If you don't like it, then it's not your book.
Yeah. Okay, I got a question because you have some interesting interests, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But please tell me, because I think I'm uninformed. I'm pretty much know I'm uninformed. The heck is a K drama?
A K drama is like a Korean. How do I put it? It's like watching stories, like General Hospital,
Okay.
but it's like um they have them broken up like on Netflix and stuff, and you watch it every week. And
Oh.
I love them because they don't have the same exploitations that they do here in America.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
only issue that most people have with them is like age gap
Uh-huh.
more than anything, because sometimes the man will be 10, 15 years older, but then you
Mm-hmm.
have some where the woman is older than the
Mm-hmm.
guy. But
Yeah.
it's about more cultural reference. I love their how a lot of them are historical because I
Okay.
love history. So when they
Uh,
start going to different eras and things like that, and they're as close to the clothing as they can get, it's a
mhm.
different language, it's a different culture. And again, it's the expectation. Where here
Okay.
is so overly sexualized, it's
Sure.
not like that there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Right.
the pop
Right.
singers are, but
Mm-hmm.
their
Yeah.
K dramas, they're
Uh-huh.
not.
I know. Okay. Awesome. Okay. And so, why I got you, natural disaster movies. Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Day After Tomorrow, Armageddon, Deep
Okay.
Impact,
Okay. I was thinking,
Mhm.
like, when I seen that. So
the
be
tornado
careful
movies,
how you interpret
know,
stuff. I'm thinking, oh,
no,
you like the docudramas on, Hurricane Katrina or what?
no, not those. When I say natural disaster movies, I mean like probably
Okay.
won't
Yeah.
happen, but
Okay.
not out of
Yeah.
the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
But just
Mhm.
Okay. Got
the imagination that they put into them, things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I like
Yeah.
weather. I just don't like to experience weather. I've been through hurricanes. I've been through an
Yeah.
actual earthquake. I've
Uh-huh.
been through a tornado. I've been through almost all. And no, no, a
Uh-huh.
snowstorm and all. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I watch it. I don't want to be
Right,
in
right, right, right. You like
it.
me. I
Mhm.
know. I'm tropical without the hurricanes and the whatever.
Yeah, they can have the
Mhm.
rest of that. I just like
Yeah,
to look
yeah,
at it from over here,
right,
way
right,
over
right.
here.
It's like when they come, I'll see y'all later. I'll be back.
Yeah. Like, thank you, Lord. I moved to Texas because living in North, because I came from North Carolina here 2 years ago, a little over 2 years
So
ago now.
where are
Living
you
in
in
North
Texas?
Carolina, Virginia, and in North Carolina. That's why I say it's snowstorms, hurricane.
Yeah.
Five, six hurricanes in the amount of time I lived between the two. I was in
But
Michael. Is it no Florence? No,
yeah.
no,
But
no.
where
Being
are
without
you in
electricity
Texas?
and all.
Where are you in Texas?
I'm in Orange, the very southern part, on the very east side. I'm about 5 minutes from the border of Louisiana,
Of
literally.
Louisiana. Okay. Because I live in
Mhm.
Dallas until
Oh,
yes. Right now
I'm
I'm in.
looking at an event in Dallas actually.
Uh-huh.
So I'll
So
be
Mhm.
okay.
in
So
that
we're gonna have to catch up.
neighborhood.
Mhm.
Yes. I
And
love to
see,
travel for events.
you're saying you were in Virginia and North Carolina for
Mm-hmm.
snowstorms.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You weren't in no snowstorm. I'm from Newark,
Texas.
New
Yeah.
I
Jersey.
know
Okay.
y'all snowstorms and did, but understand for a girl
Oh,
from Georgia who
yeah,
has
Right. Right.
yeah.
seen snow
For
only
somebody,
twice
yeah,
in her
you.
life. The first time I saw snow was in because my father's from Chicago.
Mm.
To this day,
Mhm.
I was 5, but I remember my grandfather's funeral, and it
Listen,
was during snow
during the
was
snow,
almost as tall as me. We're
Yeah.
talking about little
hmm
bitty
Yeah.
5-year-old. Then the
and that
next
and
year
that's
in
and
Georgia
that's
was the first time.
actually as a 5-year-old height, that's something that they would tell us you're going to school in.
Right.
You're
Right.
I
going
That
to
part.
believe
school.
that.
Yeah,
I believe
you're
that
going
too.
to school.
Now, if it's a
Here,
foot of
here they
snow,
got little droplets of
I know
rain,
it.
and they telling
Yeah.
them
No.
that ain't no school, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what? What are
Yeah.
you
that's
talking
Yeah.
because
about?
these people now don't look literally just do not know how to drive.
They don't.
Mm-mm.
They don't have a
Oh, the
clue.
number of accidents I have, because I used to live on a corner, the number
Yeah.
of accidents I had seen, just
Yeah.
people not knowing how to drive
Mm-hmm.
like, how did you get your license? You've had your
Mm-hmm.
license since I've had my license since I was 15. I'm
Yeah.
41.
Mm-hmm.
I've been driving for 26 years.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. I drove
Yeah.
in weather all the way in Cali, which is no joke. That weather there is
Mm-hmm.
nothing like over here
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
here.
For sure.
So I learned how to do traffic jams and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
Mm-mm.
drive in it.
Yeah, right. But that's it. When I first moved to Texas, I lived in Indiana. In the last 3 years, there were blizzards. I mean,
Yeah.
blizzards. And
Yeah.
the only time they closed everything was whiteout blizzards,
Yeah.
whiteout condition blizzard. Not just a little regular old blizzard, whiteout conditions,
Yeah.
meaning you can't
You
see
can't see anything.
nothing, nothing, nothing. Now I was like, okay, I promise God, if you let me live through this will be the last thing, the last blizzard you will
The
let
last
me.
time I'm gonna deal with this.
Look, that was
Yeah.
my request when I left North Carolina. And North Carolina, I was in my year separation because you're required to do a year separation before you can divorce.
Uh-huh.
So I was like,
Mhm.
Lord, I want to move back deep south, like how I grew up, but I'm not going back to
Mm-mm.
Georgia. I had promised my father I would not go back to Georgia. So
Well,
that
this is
was
my
out of the
first. This is
question.
my first Southern living experience. I
And
traveled all
technically,
over.
you say Southern,
Ye-
we still on the East Coast.
Yeah, and not only that,
Technically,
the
but
thing
it's
about it is
not.
I've traveled in different states, so I know that there's a big difference in between the states. But as
Mhm.
far as climate and everything else, this is nothing compared to what we were faced with in Jersey, even with the rain, even with the ice storm, even with like one lady contacted me today and she said, oh, it's getting cold, you're gonna have to leave your water dripping. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Your pipes are
it's a burst.
I
Yeah.
said they better not.
Yeah.
they, they better not.
But you got to think about too how old houses
Yeah,
here
I was
in the
like, they
deep
better.
south
Oh my
are. A lot
God.
of them, those pipes are sometimes 50. Some of them
50
pipes I
years
know for
old,
a fact are
right?
older than
But
me.
all
You know
I'm
what I
used to,
mean?
I'm
Yeah.
used to East
They're older
Coast.
And
than
we
my
need
dad
rapping
and
too.
them. So
We need to be
Look,
rapped up too.
I'm used to East Coast,
okay.
New York, New Jersey, and I think that's the same transition for authors or actors or anybody that's in the field where you're communicating with the public, but you're not communicating with the public.
Mhm.
But you have to have a relevance of how do I reach these people,
Mm-hmm.
that are in a different culture. They're in a different, it's almost like, well, when I was younger, I used to say it was a warp zone between the East Coast and the West Coast. We would have music and you go out on California and you'd be like, what y'all listening to? Like
That's
it
what
was.
I got when I moved from Georgia, got stationed. I lived in went up to the land of great mistakes for boot camp. Great Lakes,
Mhm.
Michigan. Then came to Mississippi for A school. Yeah, land of great mistakes. Came to Mississippi for A school. I was like, yeah, okay, back in this house. I'm asking for orders to like Florida or anywhere that keeps me south near my family. The
Yeah.
Lord said, oh, I don't know what you heard, but I'm going to send you all the way across the country. I said,
Oh.
Lord, I wanted to experience it. I never said I wanted to live. Well, you're going to live there. I went 2.5 years in California.
Same thing.
Different culture,
Mhm.
different food, and then
Yeah.
we're talking about the military is a whole different culture.
A whole
in
different
the
climate, a whole different
because you
area.
have different cultures in the military.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Right.
you're having
Right.
a whole then to Tijuana one.
And it's
I've never
strange
been on
because
that one. That was a
and
whole
and and
different cultural shock
and that's the whole
too.
thing, that I think that some people, when they want to be an author or they want to, when they want to go into this writing thing, they have this delusion about what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
They make common mistakes, they have the pitfalls, they have the delusions, and as a writer, we try to give them certain advice. You try to give them a certain way of going, or you try to make them understand, like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Now, what do you think about the AI? Stop rolling your eyes, stop.
Just saying I, Lynette,
the, A, the
You see this book right
AI.
here? See this
Yeah.
book right here?
unfaded
What's
eyes.
Do you
Which
know what's on the
uh,
back cover? Because nobody
Uh-huh.
else could. And I asked, nobody else could make her hair. Nobody else can make her outfit. I don't care what your cover looks like.
mm-hmm.
Here's the problem with this. People are so stuck in AI that they think people are not actually capable of writing proper, supposedly proper. Let's be real,
Exactly.
it's not proper. It's stolen from other countries, like everything else.
Yeah.
English. If I can
Mm-hmm.
speak it, I can write it also. I know how
Exactly.
to type up papers. I've been doing this since I was little. I was homeschooled up until 7th grade. I'm more capable than what you give me credit for. But you're
Yeah.
so. I have a cousin who produced his own book. He's a kind of a fresh author now. Has a series. Eddie and I went through the same thing. That people think that we write through AI because we know how to write properly. No, we know how to
Well,
write
well,
properly, and
the
we know how to
difference
find
is
the right editors to make
right,
our
but
books better.
a real reader, a real reader would be able to tell the difference because AI has no emotion.
None.
It has
Yeah.
no emotion. There's no conversations because it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know how to talk back and forth.
None.
Yeah.
It can't connect like that. It
All the
has
AI can
no,
do is correct your sentence
it
to make
corrects
it
it.
sound more proper. But see, here's the problem: when you start
People
speaking
don't
in
talk
slang
proper.
and things like that,
People don't
talking
talk proper.
in in our language, and then it tries
Mm-mm.
to correct. If you say "ain't" and y'all, because I have it where it tries to connect "ain't" and y'all. No, this is the dialect
This
that
is
I
what the
want the person
dialect
to
is.
use because this is the person that they are. It cannot compute that. It
No,
cannot do that to you.
and it can't compute how one scene connects with another scene.
Yeah.
It does not do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you want to go, okay, I'm gonna fade out of this scene and I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring somebody into the next scene. It has no method of connection
I have
as
a book
far
in I have
as the
a
flow of the
scene in
story.
Janice and Michelle where
Mm-mm.
I have the guy, Mr. X, walk into the room with the mayor and his wife, and I just shut the door. Next chapter. You
Right.
figure out what happened in that room. I'm not telling you anything right now. Now
Well,
you
you know
want to
Right.
what?
read two
The,
books later, I'll actually tell you kind of what happened in the room.
mhm.
But right now, I'm not telling you anything. Next
I'm
thing.
not telling you anything. Right.
But
AI
you know
will
what?
never be able to do it because it'll try to expand on it or make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if
Yeah.
you're talking about writing a blurb or making your
Mm-hmm.
blurb look better or
Mm-hmm.
And
sound
it
better,
works. It
that
works.
works for that. But
Yeah.
not when you're talking about writing AI. Like you said,
It
it
can't
can't
do
do
it.
emotion, it can't do a sound. I can tell you I have an orange. Well, AI will tell you I have an orange. It'll tell you the color, but it won't tell you how juicy it is. It can't
Yes.
tell you how sweet
Mm-mm.
it is.
Right.
It can't
That's
tell you
right.
the scent that I smell from that orange.
Mm-hmm.
It won't tell you that it's a Florida orange
Mm-mm.
or
Yeah.
orange from South Carolina or
Mm-hmm.
a peach from
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, or a peach from Texas. It
No, and
can't
the other
tell
thing,
you things
Yeah.
like that
no, and the other
because
thing
it
about
won't.
that orange, the other thing about that orange, it's going to constantly tell you that it's a color.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not going to
That's
tell you that
right.
it's a fruit.
It's not going to tell
That's
you that
right.
it's a fruit. It's going
That's
to
right.
constantly refer to the color, the
Uh-huh.
hue, the this, the that.
Yeah, it comes in
So,
different hues and
and
stuff. Or
giving these authors advice, we want them to learn the process, but we want them also to study their craft. And I
Yeah.
think that that's a part that we're missing when we go into the elements and everything else of writing. Some people don't want to study their craft. This is not a quick fix, and they're looking for a quick fix because they want to put out these books, and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
They're really not. They're really,
thinking
really,
about it.
really not looking
No.
at
Sometimes
Yeah.
getting an editor, like for me, the new one that I'm writing right now is called Messenger. It's a science fiction book. Um, Andre from Spectacular Ink Comics LLC. He's another black-owned business.
Mm-hmm.
He writes comic books, things like that. But he wanted to write a comic novel, so he gave me the characters. I'm writing the novel. It'll be out next Saturday. Um, and the thing about that is, you have to have what people call alpha readers and beta readers.
it. Mm-hmm.
So your alpha readers are your people who read your book first. So after your editor is done, these are the people who maybe 2 to 5 people, because I see people do 10, 15, 20. I can't do that many opinions. That's too much. Two
Mm-hmm.
to five people that you trust who
Mm-hmm.
will read the book, give you feedback. After they give feedback, you make little changes to it. Then you have your beta readers.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go back and say again, do you need to fix something else? Because they might see something that the editor and the alpha readers didn't read.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be willing to go through the process. I already have 3 people who are chosen who are already raring for me. I have 2 more chapters of the book left. and I'll be finished with it. They are ready to read it. They are ready to go. As an author, you have to be willing to not just study what you're doing, but as you're writing your book, pull information. Look up what you're really writing about. Now, if it's a self story, for me, writing my biographies, I didn't just write those. I went back and I verified with some people in my life that what I saw was what I saw. What I experienced was really what I experienced. Because the mind can play tricks, and what you thought you saw might not have been what you saw. Verify, study, do research. But also don't try to be everybody else. Be you, be who you are writing. Because that's one of the biggest pitfalls I see. Saw one where this young lady was complaining because she wasn't as popular as another author, and they wrote the same type of book.
But you can't compare yourself.
You're not going to be like her.
But not only that, you just can't.
She's from the same culture. She has had a following that you have not even developed yet.
Right.
Not on her level. And don't try to be on her level. Be on yours.
That's right.
I don't want to be famous at all.
Right.
I want my books to be, but you don't have to remember me.
Yeah.
Just remember the story that I told you. That's what I want you to remember. You don't remember anything else.
And the thing about it is, in everything that we do, I don't care what job you pick, I don't care what your gift is, I don't care, who you are. There's going to be a day where you're going to get knocked down. And usually the knockdown is the one that's going to make you better when you build back up. So I honestly love when someone says, well, you know what, that book just did not do this for me, and let's have a conversation about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
A lot of times as a new reader, you may not understand the reader, because if someone's an avid reader, they understanding, they might not write a book, but they're understanding the reading from a whole different level than you starting as a new author. So you got to be willing. You got to be willing to take it on the chin when they tell you got to, well, I thought that book was a 2. Well, you thought it was a 2 because I talked about your man. I talked about your relationship. I stepped on you.
Similar to it, and it kind of.
It was I kind of told your story out loud.
Sorry, not sorry.
No, but not only that, girl, I don't even know you.
I'm just saying,
I don't know him. I don't know you.
I don't feel bad about it.
But you're not the only one that's had this problem. The reason why an author goes into certain things that they write, we see it. We see different things that go on, and our imaginations take off from that. But
and see, that's the thing for me when I write, I don't want you to just read the book. For me, things are visual. I have a unfortunate photographic memory. So I remember stuff I don't even want to remember half the time.
Oh, there you go.
But if you ask me to tell you about Armageddon, I can tell you because I watched it enough time. Not just watch enough time, but my photographic memory says it paints that picture for me in my brain. My words should paint a picture for you.
Exactly.
If I'm not painting the picture, then maybe I need to back up and change something in the book because something is lacking that I'm not giving or conveying to you what I want you to see. What I want you to hear. I want you to use your 5 senses in my book. This is not just about you reading it. I want you to immerse yourself into it. So it's like you're on a different plane when you're reading it. I am no longer here. I am in Zeruvian country and I am watching this fire fae who's engaged to a water fae that she really don't like. And I'm watching this alpha werewolf with this stuck-up princess and he can't stand her. What's about to happen?
Right. A whole different thing. Well, let me ask you this. What do you think about these books that people are coming out with now? These journals. One line and then 1,000 blank spaces. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
Another question for you.
Okay. I just But
I'm gonna actually speak to that only because on the psychology side, we actually do encourage journaling, and I journal. I journal
understood.
when
Okay.
I
But I'm talking the opposite side. I'm not
That
talking
was
about
a
the
great
side.
answer, Candy. That was a great answer. So, but I have another question for
look.
you. I do. I promise.
I caught you. I got you. I got you.
Oh, oh, okay.
No,
So
no, 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 no. It's my turn.
She said pause.
Hey,
Rewind.
wrong turn. Hold on.
Look like we used to say in the Navy, belay all of your last.
Oh goodness. Just see. Wait a minute, because I need to ask you this
well,
question.
I can go into
No, no,
one of
no,
the
you can't.
things that she said.
It's my turn.
One,
It's my turn. It's my turn. With my turn.
okay, go.
Okay. So this is all in the so what was the deciding factor for you to go into the military?
My oldest son. I had come out of a situation with my first ex-husband, where I ended up in jail for 90 days behind something that him and his girlfriend did.
Oh wow.
But because the girl looked like me, and
Oh.
apparently the two of them told the police that I had participated, even though I told them I had alibis for both of them. I ended up in there for 90 days and lost custody of my son for 6 months.
Oh my.
And at that point in time, I had made up my mind that, Lord, I can't stay here. The judge had already made it clear because he knew my ex-husband, because growing up, he had been in and out his court.
Oh.
So because of that, which I can say the man's name because he's dead now. Judge Ellery had decided, he had already put a label on my son because that was his son. Not because of me.
Yeah.
But because that was his father.
Yeah.
So I was like, Lord, I need a way out. I need a way to permanently move away.
Yeah.
And it can sustain myself and my son. I can have him with me. But he grows up in a I cannot stay in a place where people only know me by this man, not as who I am.
Yeah.
I'm known as Pastor Usher's daughter. I'm known as Ernest's sister. I'm known as Anthony's wife. I am known as everybody but me. And I need to be me. I need to get out. I have to grow up. I went first to the Air Force. They were going to take me, but because I was considered a single parent, even though I was married, because he was in jail at the time, they would not allow me to go in. So my favorite mommy, Mama Briggs, Mama Virginia, she took me to the Navy office. She would take me back and forth, take me to church, everything. Because at that time I was also living in a homeless shelter. I didn't have anywhere else to stay. And I walked in the Navy office and they said, yeah, we'll take you. We'll take you in. Went, filled out the paperwork. I never got convicted of the 2 charges, so they got them expunged off my record. I went in the Navy and I did not look back.
Very good.
And that's in the book. When Life is Life.
They saved you. I thank you for your service because again, thank you for that. And that I'm glad I asked that question. I'm glad Nanette forced me to ask that question because it was on my mind. But
it's in When Life is Lifing, and I'm Still Standing Here. I tell that story kind of twice because When Life is Lifing is 3 books put together.
Well, not only that, you brought up a quote in your form that said, "A champion is defined not by wins, but by how they can recover when they fall," and that's exactly what you did. You know, and those are Serena Williams' words, but that's exactly what you did and how you did, how you came back from that. And a lot of times, a lot of the stuff that, and that was my reason for asking about journaling, because a lot of times we don't understand the journaling process. Some of the time, the journaling cannot be me telling you what to journal about. It has to be you journaling because this is what you're about. It's a whole opposite dynamic. So as an author, When I'm just writing the journaling pieces, I have a book about managing your madness. And at the end of the book, I ask questions.
Sure.
So at the end of the book, that's your opportunity to journal for yourself about those questions, because one thing you have to discover is who you are.
Right.
And a lot of times you can't discover who you are if I'm placing it in your mind that this is who you can be before you're even there.
Sure.
You know, that's what the purpose of it
Yeah.
is. I mean, in my short unbeknown definition of it, I want you to understand and grasp what I'm saying to you before you do it, because a lot of times, I'm quite sure you've had it done to you too, Candi. Someone comes to you and says, I need you to write my story, and they haven't been through the process of their story yet.
Mm-hmm.
They can't even tell it without, breaking down and telling you, oh, I can't talk about it. I can't. And we understand that. But if you're at that point, you're not ready to write your book.
See, it took process for I'm still standing here, my forever angel, delusional, crazy in love, the silent scream, and then the one that came out in May, her mother's daughter. It took a whole process of 3 years to write 5 different books on 5 different subjects, which technically I'm still standing here came out in 2017. It was called Bondage.
Mm-hmm.
My second ex-husband didn't even want me to write that book because it was about my first ex. But he didn't understand the hell that I went through to even get to him, to even give him the level of forgiveness and love that I gave him. I had to write that book to get it out there because God showed me that other women needed to see that. They needed to see the domestic violence. They needed to notice the narcissism and the red flags that I did not pay attention to, and then turn around and write again because God had turned around and the book I wrote, I still didn't pay attention because this man is showing the exact same thing. He's just doing it in a different way.
Yeah.
Same red flags, just a different way of doing it. Yeah. Then her mother's daughter had to go through and say, okay, I see the red flags from these two men. Well, where did it come from? 15 years of therapy now. Of therapy, 15 years of therapy, and I got to the root. The person who gave me life was the root cause of why I am like this. Why I'm trying to fix people like this. I'm a fixer, just like my father was a fixer, and we both realized we couldn't fix those people. Detrimental to us that we couldn't fix them anymore. But making that realization and journaling or having your story written is to say, I'm either in the process of, and that's why I want to write, or I've completely finished it.
And
now I'm ready to write it.
And now I'm ready to share. Because as you said, also one of your other quotes that you said you admired was, the success of every woman should be the inspiration to another. We should raise each other up. And that's what we do as writers when we go through that process of bringing up the journal or bringing up the self-help book or bringing up the
biographies.
The biographies and all of those things. We need to be able to connect to them in a way so that people understand that it's not just me trying to make money off of a page. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to be an inspiration. I'm trying to give you an encouragement to get it out of your system, to get it out. Because I believe we all author our own life. We all author our own script. We are the designer of our own way of living and what we do. So to our audience,
that we always can control our reactions to others. That's all we can do. We can be accountable to our reactions.
Yeah.
God gives us what he gives us. He also gives us the tools on how to face what we're given. Now, what you do with that is on you. And you're accountable for that. Sometimes it's not the best actions that people give you. What reaction are you going to give to that?
Yeah.
How are you going to react to that? Are you going to lose your mind? Are you going to throw in the towel? Because sometimes it can have a psychological effect on you, and you might have to go to a place where you get therapy, you get help, you get whatever you need to get through that place. When you brought up your nephew, that he needed that help at that point in time to get through that place, through that hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
if
So
you're looking to get in touch with Candi, get her books, get that boost of inspiration that you need. www.misscandygirl.com,
Mm-hmm.
or you can contact her through her email, candyjones84@gmail.com. And Felice has a she has a little, input on this one. This is her question because she's one of those release people. So, Felice, ask your question, my dear.
Well, I am, but Miss Candy, again, thank you for your gifts being put out into the world for others to be blessed by. Thank you again for serving our country, and even though it was to save your life, but in the fact that you saved countless lives just by serving, I thank you so much for that. I think that I was looking forward to this conversation, and I'm glad that we had it today. I needed this conversation. Okay, enough about me, but because it's all about you, I just want to give you your flowers before I ask you this question. Because many people come on, and we have awesome people that come on and share the gifts that they have for the world. But on the flip side of that, we need the world to understand that there's a responsibility in giving your gifts to the world. So my question is, after I've built it all up to that, is what do you do to fill your cup, especially if it's on empty? But before it gets there, hopefully you do that. So share with us what you
um,
do.
mainly writing is refilling my cup a lot of the time. It's taking me to a different place. It's taking me to a different just thought process. I'm away from the world a little bit. I call my sisters whenever needed. I talk to my dad every week. So he and I always, being a pastor's kid is the fun part, and then being called into ministry is another fun part. But we're
Yes,
always giving the word back and forth to each other, and
nice.
he's pushing me, and I'm asking him questions. So, because I teach youth Sunday school at my church, I
Oh,
teach the
very good.
teenagers. Another reason why I say the cup is what I want to go in for psychology, and
Uh-huh.
my sons are in my class too. So
Oh,
as I'm teaching, I'm growing them at the same time, growing other children. And then as a child, still my daddy's daughter, I'm being encouraged and pushed. Prayer, getting in my word a lot of the time, that refills my cup the most.
yeah.
On Sunday, the lesson for Sunday school was Matthew 1:18 through 25.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Pastor preached Matthew 1:18 through 25.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Nervous, I asked, I said, "Sir, were you standing outside my class?" He was like, "Why?" It's like, because what you preach, literally almost word for word, what he said was exactly what I was telling my youth.
nice.
And my
I
dad
love
and I were
your
just talking about
confirmation.
forgiveness last week, and God
Mhm.
was pushing me about the way I'm forgiving people. And God,
Mm.
so you're gonna be obedient? Yes, I heard you. First 3 times, I got you. Okay, you don't have to say it again. I understand. I will be obedient, and I will do what you said.
Mhm.
So that refills my cup often because that lets me know that I'm seen by God, that I'm
Mm-hmm.
heard by Him, that He always sends me what I need when I,
Mhm.
sometimes when I don't think I need it.
Right.
He's going to make sure I have it. And I'm thankful for that. And that
Mhm.
becomes everything I need a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Again, we want to thank you for being here. We want to thank our audience for hanging out with us.
Mhm.
Um, please tune in every Monday, 6:30, and join us. Join us if you have a passion that you do, a job that you do, a journey that you're on. Please come and share. It's just a conversation. It's interviews and conversations with myself and Felice. And we want to thank you for being a great audience. We want to thank you for being a great guest. Candy, thank you so much for sharing with us who you are and what you do.
Thank
So
you.
I'm going to say good night, bid you
Okay.
farewell. Everybody stand by. And we'll say goodnight to our audience.
Thank you for joining us.